Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Shadow Magic Sorcerer Build guide in Baldur's Gate 3's Patch 8 stress test. This is a new subclass that allows you to summon in the Hound of Ill Omen, which can apply omens on targets when it bites them, allowing you to cast a specific spell that'll deal a damage type that the omen is representing, and you get a sorcery point back for it. So this is really fun. And you also get yourself the Strength of the Grave, which gives you the, whenever you get downed, you come back up with 1 health point, and you get Dark Vision up to 24 meters. Now with this build, we're going to go with the Bursting Sinew, which is a new necromancy cantrip, which can explode a corpse around you. We get the Bone Chill, because this will stop the target from healing, which is really nice. Ray of Frost, as well as Shocking Grasp for our cantrips. And for the spells, I think Shield is great here, as well as Magic Missile. And obviously we're going with the Shadow Magic Sorcerer. For our ability scores, I think it's best to go all around our dexterity. So 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 10 intelligence and wisdom, and 16 charisma will be our ability scores. And make sure you have persuasion as your skill proficiency. Now I'll be covering gear at the end of this video, or middle part of this video, and then also showing off combat to make the most out of this. So at our next leveled spell, Chromatic Orb's nice because you can choose the damage type for the Hound of Ill Omen. So this just covers all bases whenever we have our Hound at level 6. And for our spells, I think Distance Spell to increase the range of your spells is really effective. We also have a Teleport that'll set this up as well later levels. And Twin Spell, because Twin Haste is one of the best things in this game. Now at level 3, we get our choice in spells, but we also get the Eyes of the Darkness. So you get the normal Darkness spell, which costs a level 2 spell slot. But we have this unique one that has the sorcery point built into that icon there, and this costs 2 sorcery points to create darkness. Now we get level 2 spells here. I think Hold Purse is probably the best choice here because you can set up critical hits on your melee attackers. And the meta magic of choice at level 3 is obviously going to be Quicken Spell to be able to cast a bonus action spell. This is the big core principle of playing a sorcerer. Now at level 4 here we get another choice in cantrip. And you could go with like Firebolt, just if there's an omen for that damage type. Or even Poison Spray or Acid Splash can be pretty effective if you have an omen for those damage types. And for the spells we're going to go with, Scorching Ray is pretty good damage. So is Misty Step Misty Step's good for survivability. So these 2 spells are a top choice. We're going to go with the Scorching Ray there. And for our feat, an ability score improvement to take up our charisma. It's going to be the most effective way to increase our spell castings. Now, once we get to level 5 here, we get a choice of a level 3 spell with Lightning Bolt, Haste, and Fireball being the top priorities. So Haste obviously being very effective. This gives us a +2 to armor class, and we can twin this to ourself and our fighter, which is huge. At level 6, this is when we get the goodest boy, the Hound of Ill Omen, which is a bonus action, 3 sorcery points, summon forth a creature of darkness. Looks like Scratch. And we'll take the Lightning Bolt spell here, because this is nice for hitting targets in a straight line. At level 7, we get a choice of another spell here, and Ice Storm is very effective because we can create crowd control by making ice surfaces this way, which is very effective. At level 8 here, we get a choice of another spell, and I think going back to take Fireball is a good choice, but even Wall of Fire or Confusion can be pretty effective too. And for the feat, again, ability score improvement on Charisma just works great for better spell casting. At level 9, we get our choice in level 5 spells, with Cone of Cold being top priority for really effective damage. And then at level 10, we get ourselves a cantrip choice, so go with Acid Splash or Firebolt there. Spells, we get ourselves, I guess Hold Monster is probably one of the best choices here. But if there's anything previously that you like to take, go with those. Hold Monster is very effective in the late game. And for our meta magic that we'll go with, Heightened Spell can be good. Subtle Spell is good if you end up getting silenced, but that doesn't happen all the time. You always just move around. Careful Spell can also be pretty effective. We'll go with Heightened Spell there. The final meta magic is your personal preference. Now at level 11, this is when we get the Shadow Walk, which gives us the Distance spell without costing any sorcery points, and you teleport into the shadows. Now we get ourselves a choice of level 6 spell, and we're going to go Chain Lightning there because that's very, very effective. And for the final level, we get to choose a feat. However, we can also multi-class. At this point, you can add in the Wizard and use the Helmet of or the Band of Warped Intelligence, which will give you 17 intelligence, and you can take Globe of Invulnerability as your spell, and then the Minor and Major Elementals. That's my personal preference. I'm just going to keep this all 12 levels here. Just take something like, again, Globe of Invulnerability or Circle of Death. Then for our final score, you can go with the Dexterity increase, or you can go with the Alert feat for the +5 to initiative and Can't Be Surprised. That's really strong of a choice to go with. Now, what this ends up looking like for gear, So we got ourselves the Hood of the Weave here for increased spell save DC and spell attack rolls, cloak protection for better armor class. The Wave Mother's Robe is nice, giving you resistance to fire and cold damage, and you get a Create Water spell, which is extremely effective because that can double the damage of Cone of Cold or the spell damage from your Chain Lightning, and we can do this both on the same turn, putting out massive amounts of damage. So it's not just aesthetically pleasing, it's also very effective. However, if you wanted to, later in the game, Helldusk Armor is going to be nice. This will give you the 27 armor class. But honestly, you got to go with what you got best for options of gear here. The Potent Robe is also a nice choice because your cantrips will deal additional damage equal to your Charisma modifier and it gives a +1 armor class. So early game, that's actually very effective. The Robe of the Weave is probably the best late game option. This will give a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls and a 2 bonus to armor class. But I'm just going to go with the Wave Mother's Robe here. I think this ends up working out to be very strong. And the Daredevil Gloves gives you a bonus +1 to spell attack rolls, and ranged weapon attack or ranged spell attacks can be made as a close range melee attack. However, the Helldusk Gloves are also nice for the increased spell save DC and spell attack rolls too. So you could go that route, or you could also go with the Gloves of Dexterity and dump your stats there. Even the Gloves of the Belligerent Skies also works very well here because this will make it so that we stack reverberations on the target. The Evasive Shoes will give us a better armor class. However, we can also just go with the, you can go with the Boots of the Stormy Clamor, which will also stack reverberation. So both of these actually end up working very well on this. Marika Heshker, because this gives us a bunch of free abilities here, which are very powerful. Evaconia's Walking Fortress to be able to save ourselves a little bit better. Hellrider Longbow for the +3 to initiative. Ring of Protection for better armor class. And the Snowburst Ring, which can create ice surfaces below the enemies, which is really effective. The Ring of Regeneration also works well too. And the Amulet of Greater Health for advantage in Constitution saving throws and gives us 122 health to work with. So what this ends up looking like in actual combat. So I'll just get combat started here with Gale, and then we got haste applied on ourselves so we can really show off our abilities. Now I should have probably summoned in the Hound of Ill Omen in advance, but we can pop down our Goodest Boy here, and what this is going to do is we can use it to bite targets, and then we get our sorcery points back. Now, yeah, that's that dog there. What the dog doing? I love this appearance. It looks super cool, and has that shadowy aura around it. So with the Sorcerer, we have a few great options. So since we have the Wave Mother's Robe on, this gives us that Create Water, so we can apply Create Water and then drop a Chain Lightning or a Cone of Cold on the enemy. That's going to be pretty good damage for mid to late game. But we can also go with a Lightning Bolt too, because this gives us a really effective way to hit multiple targets in a row. We took out that target there. So I guess since I got that, we'll drop a, I don't want to hit my Goodest Boy, so we'll drop this right on this ledge here to create ice surfaces. And that took out 1-2 targets and created difficult terrain for the enemies to deal with. And since we got 9 sorcery points, we can also go with a Quicken spell and then take a, I guess we use our bonus action with the dog. So well, next turn we'll get him with that. So now it's our dog's turn to do an attack, and it's got that ominous bite. You can also use the Umbral Tangle here, which will bind targets in an area of effect here, but we're just going to go with the ominous bite here, which that applied the Omen of Fire. So now this target will have to be hit with fire damage and will regain a sorcery point. So that's going to be obviously our priority here. And the dog hit him again. The critical hit, Goodest Boy. So I got very unlucky and lost my haste and lost my turn. So yeah, that's not great. So our Goodest Boy is going to spring into action again, and we're going to get him into a prime position here to drop down the Umbral Entanglement here. So you can use that. They're now stuck in position, and then we can run away. It's a good doggo. Now the dog has a reaction as well that allows you to splinter yourself into 2 whenever you're not dealt with radiant damage. So boom, extra doggo. So yeah, that's a really cool feature of the dog. You get a little mini dog, Splintered Shadow Hound, that comes out. They now have radiant damage, so that's not good for the dog. But back to our turn here. We have a lot of corpses we can explode with the Bursting Sinubi, but we're in a rough spot. I probably should have activated the Kreska's Favor on the Marika Heshker here. But we need to take out targets, so this is probably the best choice because it can chain to multiple targets there. Boom, we took out 2 of them. That's exactly what we wanted. And then we can quicken a spell. We also got the Shadow Walk, which lets us teleport to somewhere in darkness, which is cool because then we can cast a spell and it'll have the distance spell on it. So we can cast that, run away pretty far away, and we'll be in a good position there. But we got to hit multiple targets here. So the nice thing is taking Lightning Bolt, you can actually line up these shots pretty well. So we can just go ahead here, Unfortunately, there will be people caught up in the crossfire, so we'll try to minimize that. Sorry, Shadowheart. But that took out one of them there, so that's exactly what we needed to do. And yeah. Now our dog only has 19 health, but it gets to move on its own. And it went with the Umbral Tangle, which is nice, and then it hopped around. So yeah, 2 doggos all at the same time. And then we get our dog here, so we're going to apply the ominous attack, Omen of Cold, which is perfect. It's my favorite damage type. So that is awesome. And once attacked again, we can keep splintering the dog off. I just healed the dog too, so that's perfect. And they keep splintering into more dogs, so look at that. We got a whole doggo army here. It's pretty cool. And now we got to hit them with cold damage, because that's what our Omen says to do. So we can just go with a simple Ray of Frost to regain our sorcery point. And boom, hit it, got our sorcery point back. And then we can just go with another spell here. So I guess Quicken spell is the final target, and we got all these dogs surrounding him, so there's nothing he can do. It's all ogre for him, and there it is. So that is the Shadow Magic, which has a bunch of puppers. We'll let them get themselves back up, but the Splintered Shadow Hounds. Heal the dog, keep it alive, and you'll be able to summon in multiple puppers of your own, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's a Shadow Magic Sorcerer in Baldur's Gate 3's Patch 8 stress test. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next video.